to sit and watch the world go by.
Someone to talk to. Gather round, gather round. Aye, got some coin to spare your humble storyteller? Much appreciated.
Good tidings, sir. How fares your retrieval of those plundered weapons? Marvelous! You have acquired both an archer staff and a greatsword. You may now change your vocation as desired, sir. What's more, I bear glad tidings. 'Twould seem our arms shortage is at an end. I dare say the armory will be resupplied anon.
Would be a wasted opportunity not to make our delivery while we're here.
We ought to make the delivery now, lest it should end up lost or misplaced.
I suppose 'tis so.
Have you business with the guild, sir? I should be glad to assist you. Do come again.
Come to think of it, we've already found what's needed here. It should be in one of our packs. Our road was a long one, but here we are at last.
Hi, Arisen! Have you brought me a bunch of flowers already? Oh, just look at them. They're the most beautiful flowers I've ever seen. These should brighten the sisters' days. Say, would you mind terribly if I asked you another favor? See, one of my friends taught me a magic spell. It's supposed to let you meet whomever you like. All you have to do is find a silver stone, put it under your pillow, and say the magic words. But there's the problem. I've been looking all over for such a stone, and I can't find one anywhere. Would you find a silver stone and bring it to me, Arisen? For true. I knew I could count on you, Arisen. I'll be waiting.
Our next mission is to acquire a silver stone. May...
Pray, take this. Heavens know you've earned it.
Good. We're here.
Oh, I can't find a silver stone anywhere. Have you fared any better? Oh, just look how it shines. Thank you ever so much. Say, aren't you curious who I want to meet? Well, I'll tell you. My mother and father. I don't even know what they look like, you know. Not to say I'm unhappy at the Gracious Hand, of course. But I'd really like to meet them, even just once. I want to tell them how grateful I am that they gave me life. Oh, it's so shiny. Oh, hi, Arisen. You'll help me again if I need it, won't you? Please say yes.
Miss Daphne seemed pleased with our efforts. Mayhap we ought to pay her another visit.
Go on, take it.
Oh, it's so shiny. Oh, hi, Arisen. You'll help me again if I need it, won't you? Please say yes.
This is a luxury I can barely afford.
To break the law is to be thrown in jail.
I've heard that jailers are paid a pittance, despite the hardships of their work.
Then we'd best...
Oh, it's not right. It doesn't make any sort of sense. The doctor examined him afore and said he'd be better with a bit of medicine. Yet e'er since he came here, he's only gotten worse.
I understand how you must feel, but you must see that your son's health continues to wane. There is no medicine that can heal him outright. He requires proper treatment. I am caring for him as best I can. I beg only for your patience. However, if you truly cannot entrust him to me, perhaps you would care to take him home with you instead. Mayhap convalescing in a place familiar to him would aid his recovery. Of course, I would be sure to visit him as oft as I am able.
Home, you say?
Dear, we are pressed enough as 'tis.
All right, he stays. But pray, bring my son back to health.
I will look after him. I swear it. Sir, ought you not be in... Ah, forgive me. You're not a patient, are you? 'Tis a pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name is Eleanor. I have the privilege of serving as abbess here. I regret that I cannot offer you a cup of tea, but I'm in the middle of making my rounds of the patients. Not to mention, I have to find the means to procure more medicinal ingredients. Oh. You wouldn't happen to know someone willing to brave the roads, would you? I know 'tis perilous, but there is one ingredient in particular we cannot afford to run out of. you would procure it yourself. I am grateful beyond words, sir. In that case, might I trouble you to bring me some miasmite? The slums are a bane to the body's humors, and its residents are oft prone to illness. We do what we can with what little we have, but we're always short on helping hands. Your aid is most appreciated, sir. May your search prove fruitful.
The tell is, miasmite can be harvested from phantoms. Monsters that wander the world at night.
Yes, of course. I see it now.
Yes, sir. Ah, forgive me. I had assumed you were here to bring me some miasmite, as we discussed. If that's not the case, you will have to excuse me. There's much to be done, and too few hands to do it.
Is this a challenge, Arisen? To see who can keep pace?
Let us endeavor to keep up, though we are less fleet of foot.
With the aid of Sir Kendrick and his helper in locating certain documents, I believe I finally grasped the true nature of this place. 'Twas a royal library that was sealed off by a sovereign of some generations past. In a bid to pass the throne on to his own descendants, this sovereign attempted to consign our kingdom's histories to oblivion. Alas, 'twould seem that, no matter the age, the avarice of those in power is all but guaranteed. Yet 'tis clear it serves them not, almost laughably so. The sovereign's line ultimately fell to ruin, and now this library, so laboriously sealed, has been discovered. What can we learn from this? Those who make light of history are doomed to be crushed under its heel. Fine timing, sir. Fine timing indeed. I've need of your services, you see. My time in that tenebrous jail has only hastened the deterioration of my eyesight. I stare at the page, but the letters stubbornly refuse to take shape. Yet these old eyes might serve some use if only I could wear the spectacles I had specially made. Alas, they were confiscated at the time of my imprisonment. As I recall, prisoners' possessions are held within the palace storeroom. 'Tis a place to which few have lawful access, as I'm sure you can imagine. Though, as I hear it, masquerades are being held of late. Masquerades with a great many attendees, if you catch my meaning. Should you happen to enter the venue, mayhap you would find an opportunity to liberate my poor spectacles? What say you? Would you consider doing an old man a favor? I am in your debt. With those spectacles in hand, I might actually get through one of my tomes. Pray, infiltrate the venue and find the storeroom. You are my only hope.
We would be ill-advised to proceed without light.
I just tell half as many lies as my parents.
I'll feel a sight better once I'm...
You!
All this number on my...
My! I'm trapped like a rat in a cage. This Arisen's both shrewd and fleet of foot. What? Can't you think of a reason? I'd thought you were keener wit than that. Let's just say there are some who don't want you wandering about as you please. I was to report on your comings and goings, you see. But I suppose that job's over. Now you found me out? So, how about it, friend? Will you let me go? I've no reason to trouble you any further. Aye, aye. You'll have your coin. That's how this works, isn't it? Greed will get you nowhere, friend. But worry not. You won't need it where you're headed.
Let my magic imbue your weapon with the fury of the elements. You have my protection.
You there! Halt!
Shit! We're in for it now.
With all likelihood, he is an agent dispatched from Batal. Pray, let us handle the rest. We will hear all he has to say before the week is out. I bid you, wait till then. To me if aught catches your eye.
Yes, sir!
Certainly, Arisen. How might I be of aid?
Yes, sir. Have you procured what I asked? Splendid. You've my gratitude. Unfortunately, I can give you little more than that. Forgive me, but I must return to my rounds directly. Ah, but in place of a reward, mayhap I could give you a tour of the premises. Only if you've the time and inclination, of course. What say you? Would you... As servants of the gracious hand, we provide whatever treatment we can to those unfortunate who are stricken by maladies. Yet, at times, 'tis not enough. Perhaps you will recall the parents who were here when you first arrived. An unfortunate pair. They've suffered no few hardships in the slums, and now, even their poor son Lubomir has fallen ill. By chance, he was examined by a roaming man claiming to be a doctor. Yet, so, he was put into our care. Here he is. This young man is Lubomir. We've been administering the medicine recommended by the doctor who examined him, but he has yet to show any sign of recovery. To be perfectly honest, I doubt the soundness of that so-called doctor's judgment. After all, there is no shortage of ne'er-do-wells out there, willing to claim their medicine the only cure, that they might inflate its price. But I suppose I ought not say such things so openly. At any rate, I'd best continue on my rounds. Pray, stay as long as you wish. Come, come. We've medicine to prepare. We've enough to make a fresh batch now, thanks to a kind donation.
Psst! You there. Help me. Listen, the sisters here are good to us, but I'm growing weaker day by day. It started with a slight fever, and now I can scarce lift myself up. See that empty bed? An old man was lying in it till just a few days past. He told me he was feeling better, that he'd be well enough to leave anon. And now he's... Mayhap I'm just imagining things. I hope that's the case. And yet... Gah... Something isn't right about this place. Pray, should you hear any queer rumors about the Gracious Hand, come tell me of them, won't you? I'd see to it myself, but I can hardly move.
Might you be a friend of Lubomir's? There has been talk of sending him down to the basement, should his condition fail to improve. That is, the basement sick room, where our most critical patients convalesce under the abbess's care. None of the other sisters are permitted entry, including myself. Tell Liz, she gives the patients a special medicine. I know not what kind. At times, I hear strange cries and moans drift up from below. Which is to be expected. Those who come here suffer all manner of afflictions, you see. And yet, a part of me is afeard for them.
So, the worst of us are taken to the basement. Mayhap that's the source of the queer voices I hear at night. And none save the abbess can enter? If the Gracious Hand has a secret, 'tis the abbess who keeps it, I reckon. You've done this much for me. Would you be willing to go further? I must find out what goes on down there. You've my thanks. I just can't stomach the thought of lying here not knowing. Of course, all the better should your search come to naught. But if you do find aught amiss down in that basement, it must be the Abbess's doing. Should you find evidence fit to implicate her, will you help me see to it that justice is carried out? See, I've already reported my suspicions to the Sentinels, and we've arranged a signal. If you apprehend the Abbess, they'll know to come and arrest her. So I beg you, sir, find the evidence you need, if it exists to be found.
To get to the bottom of what is happening at the Gracious Hand, we shall have to acquire evidence of any misdeeds.
Tis no great shock to me.
How might we enter the basement sick room?
Aptly said.
That'll be the day. Washing all my troubles clean away, this place.
All about this place makes me nervous.
Seeing the captain always makes me nervous. Crowds make for easy pickings. Such warm breeze out shoulder does a number on my shoulders.
Would that I could spend all day here. Greetings. You seek guidance, do you not? You have lost sight of your path, but I can point the way. You need only make a worthy offering in exchange. If the way forward is shrouded to you, I can offer guidance. I have seen your path. May these words guide you true. You've my gratitude. 'Tis lovely to see you.
What I wouldn't give for a mug of ale.
Bit bland. What can I throw in?
Time to head to market, methinks.
What a racket.
Would that I could spend all day here.
I'm in fine fettle today.
Plenty of gossip to be had here.
Well met, sir.
Look as long as you please.
Times are hard. I'm barely scraping by.
At least here I can enjoy my own company.
hurts just thinking about it.
We've found some evidence, but there might be more to discover. Let us scour every inch of this room.
Aptly said.
Don't know what. My head hurts just thinking about it.
I'd not come here by choice.
What should I do?
A fine place to harvest some ingredients.
I say we collect as much as we can carry.
Lady Eleanor's a goodly person, a saint-like. Her earnest care saw me back to full health. I wavered between life and death for quite some time in that basement sick room, and she watched o'er me through it all, bless her. Can't say as I miss that basement, mind. 'Tis an eerie place, dark and shadowy, filled with the moaning of the sick. Suppose 'tis only to be expected, given the state of those assembled. I'm sure I was moaning too.
Elena. Ah, yes. The abbess of the gracious hand. A fine woman by all accounts. I was in her care once myself. But I must admit, I've always felt there's something off about her. You see, I was only a little under the weather when I entered her care. But then I started getting sicker and sicker till I was certain death would come for me. In the end, I survived, but methinks I was one of the lucky few. So many died down there. And once, I saw her, the abbess, meeting with a strange man. She handed him a large parcel, all wrapped up, and he gave her something small in return. You'd think 'twere medicine, but I'd not have bought medicine from a man like that. He had the look of a scoundrel about him. They were whispering, but I did hear one of them say aught about keeping quiet. 'Tis well suspicious, eh? Where'd they meet? 'Twas in the square in the eastern part of the common quarter, and always a night, as I recall.
Going on.
Maybe I'll make myself scarce.
Reckon I'd spend my life here if I could. Do with a decent supper. It's good to see people in such high spirits.
Got to work if I'm to put bread on the table.
Here.
Aye, this is plenty. Lord Phasus is like to be in your debt. Nicely done. Suppose it can't have been easy to procure this much so quickly.
You suppose wrong. I command their full faith. 'Tis simple for me to extract what I require.
Ha! You're a fearsome one. Here's hoping I ne'er end up in your care.
Enough. I gave you yours, now you give me mine. I'd not be seen here with you.
Ah, of course. Wouldn't want to hurt the Lady Saint's image in the eyes of the common folk, would we? Here's your special medicine.
Glad we understand each other. Till next time.
Aye, be seeing you.
This is not the first we've heard of Lord Phasus. What could his aim be, I wonder?
This is beyond me, I'm afraid.
Reckon I'd spend my life here if I could.
Puts me in the mood for a song, it does.
My head hurts just thinking about it.
This place ne'er fails to calm my spirit.
You're back. Pray, tell me, have you found anything? These look like records of treatment. Johann and Bruno. I know these two. They left here not long ago, fit as a pair of fiddles. I recall them being especially meek to the abbess. Mayhap that's what got them out safely. At any rate, they may know aught of use. Loathe a...
Places such as this ought to...
You're back! Pray, tell me, have you found anything? What? You found a medicine used only in the basement sick room? I don't like the sound of that. Do you think... Could I trouble you to look into this as well? Mayhap you could show it to the doctor I saw before coming here. Radcliffe, his name was. He's staying in the rest town. Pray, sir, do what you can. I must know.
Methinks we would do well to bring this medicine to Sir Radcliffe, the doctor over in the rest town.
Quite agree.
Puts me in the mood for a song, it does. I've got to get out. I can't stay here.
What I wouldn't give for a mug of ale.
Not that misers and paupers. Machiavellian. Time to hit the sand.
Ox carts make for relatively safer travel.
They can be most convenient, though they travel only during the day.
This ox cart's bound for the checkpoint rest town. I'll need to see some coin before I let you on.
We have found a material.
Lots to do. Have precious little time.
Can't help but talking.
Ah, here we are.
This crowd's good.
Have you come from Vernworth? How are things there? The ancient battleground to the north is overrun with hordes of fell beasts, and so little are survivors anticipated that you'll find not even a checkpoint here. In times past, 'twas safe enough a night, when the monsters sleep, but no longer. Since a few days past, skeletons and phantoms have made this their nightly battleground. 'Tis nigh impassable now. It could be that aught's befallen the cenotaph. I'd heard the spirits had calmed somewhat since 'twas erected. Say, if I cannot dissuade you from traversing the ancient battleground, would you consider passing by the cenotaph and making sure aught's aright with it?
Say, you wouldn't happen to have seen a pretty stone lying about, would you? One befitting the name the Jadeite Orb. 'Twas stolen from me while I was delivering it, and if Master Everard should find out, he'd wring my neck. 'Tis no exaggeration. He's had people killed afore, more than a few at that. To be quite truthful, I'd intended to sell off the Jadeite Orb and quit this place for good. Working under a man such as him, I'd only get chewed up till he decided to spit me out. That jewel was my last hope. Now it's gone. Unless you were to find it for me. Would you, sir? Oh, pray do a poor man a kindness.
The Jadeite Orb could be anywhere now. Perchance we ought to speak with someone who has experience in banditry.
Seeing the captain always makes me nervous. When does my watch ever look? Any loose coin about?
Oi, you there! You've just arrived in town, haven't you? I don't mean to pry, only it's my grandson, a boy by the name of Rog. He's gone missing. Pray tell, have you seen the lad?
Morris, I've just found out Roger's been abducted by beasts.
What? No! How can that be?
I've just heard news. Rog was seen being dragged off by wolves.
Oh, my poor boy. We must go rescue him at once.
Morris, think what you're saying, friend. We can't go charging off after the lad. We are no match for such creatures.
Do you truly expect me to do naught but twiddle my thumbs when my only grandson's been taken from me? The soldiers won't do aught for him, will they now? Consarn it all. He's right. But what else am I to do? If I do not hasten to the poor lad's aid, who will? Do you truly mean that, sir? You will save my grandson. If you return him to me, I will be forever in your debt, stranger.
Let us speak with everyone we can think of who might...
Greetings. You are the Arisen, are you not? Tell is you travel quite a bit. Tell me, in your comings and goings, did you happen to encounter a man by the name of Offulv? He seems to have vanished while in possession of a treasure known as the Jadeite Orb. My fellow merchants are scouring the city for him as we speak, but have had no luck as yet. And if I may be candid, our primary concern is not the merchant, but rather the orb. 'Tis an item of precious importance to myself and my partners, you see. I must see it reclaimed, post-haste. And in my hour of need, who should wander by but the good Arisen? What say you, sir? Would you be so kind as to seek out the Jadeite Orb on my behalf? You will be rewarded handsomely for your service. Of that I can assure you.
Sirs Offulv and Everard each seek the Jadeite Orb. To whom ought we to grant it? Assuming we find the thing at all.
Whatever choice you make, Arisen, I'm sure it will be the right one.
How'd I end up?
Well met, sir. How's day treating you then?
I can't stand all this noise.
check-ins of late?
Twill take a better mind than mine to solve
Go
this.
on, have a look.
Somehow my feet always carry me.
The flowers that bloom around here glow come nightfall. From what I can glean, the petals absorb the sun's light by day and release it after dark. Isn't that unusual? Nature works in mysterious ways.
Aye, I met Roger by the cenotaph, on the eastern side of town. He had what looked like a bundle of grass with him, only he was carrying it as though 'twere of the greatest import. When I asked what he was doing with it, he would say no more than 'twas a secret. So I told him to get home safe, and we parted ways. Yet no sooner had I turned my back than I heard him scream. I charged to his aid, but a wolf was already scarpering with him and its jewels. Poor lad. His cries haunt me even now. Pray help him if you can, sir. He deserves a better fate than this.
Shame there aren't as many folk spinning tall tales in the tavern of late. I rather enjoyed hearing the one about the Gigantus. Have you heard it? 'Tis said to descend in times of conflict, scattering friend and foe alike, and leaving only death and ruin in its wake. Sounds like the last thing we need, doesn't it? I'll take any
I only work when I fancy, but I get by.
If you see aught untoward, pray inform me.
You'll never believe this, but the other day, I saw an elven woman and a dwarven man walking hand in hand. Normally, you put an elf and a dwarf in the same room and they'll be trading blows before you can blink. Mayhap my eyes deceived me.
I've got an inkling of what to do. Can't leave my post, I'm afraid.
Pray, sir, seek out the jadeite orb for me. My life depends upon it. As for where to look, you could try asking a bandit, or someone who's apprised of illicit dealings. Might not be easy getting them to talk, mind.
Smogged off for a moment there.
Can't help but talk in a whisper when I'm here.
It's this way.
I'll sleep like a log tonight.
Watchful eyes.
Go on, have a look.
Greetings, sir, and welcome to the Sword and Staff. We see a great many customers given our location, so you'll have to forgive us if the ale runs dry. The Sword and Staff is open for business.
Go on, have a look.
There are quite a few beastrons are in Batal, but you scarce see them this side of the border. Strange that, considering some say Vermund was a beastron kingdom in bygone days. Mayhap you've seen those headless statues on roads and such? Tell is, they're meant to be depictions of a beastron ruler. Couldn't tell you whether any of that's true or not, mind. 'Tis simply aught I overheard at the tavern.
It's this way.
Lost track of time.
There are few places. Have a look.
Slim pickings of late.
I've not an inkling of what to do.
Go on, have a look.
Slim pickings of late.
Poor Rog. He truly is a lovely boy. He's always helping Morris in his shop. And he's delivered me my remedies many a time. Once, he even picked some flowers on his way and put them up for me, all pretty like. I still recall his smile when he told me about the beautiful flower bed he tends to on the outskirts of town. Oh, Rog, will I e'er see your smile again? I suppose I can only hope.
Mayhap the flower bed will offer some clue as to Roger's whereabouts. Very well. I'll guide you there directly.